I mean, this controversy surrounding Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, I refuse to call it the Department of War or whatever the hell they're calling it. But the controversy surrounding the bombing of boats in the Caribbean and a follow-up military strike that targeted and killed survivors of the initial attack. This happened back in September. This has led to allegations from some legal experts and members of Congress that the action could constitute a war crime. Hegseth has denied giving a specific order to kill, calling reports fake news. He said he watched the first strike live, but, quote, didn't stick around to see the aftermath of the second strike, citing the fog of war to explain it. He maintains that the strikes are legal and part of a campaign to stop narco-terrorists. So let's watch this video clip.
A bombshell new report from the Washington Post alleges Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave what many are calling an illegal order earlier this year. A former military lawyer, Todd Huntley, told the Post that at least the initial strike amounts to murder. Even if the U.S. were at war with the traffickers in order to kill all the boat's occupants, if they were no longer able to fight, quote, would be in essence in order to show no quarter, which would be a war crime, something that Senator Mark Kelly echoed on Sunday. Take a listen.
Do you believe if there was a second strike to eliminate any survivors, that constitutes a war crime?
It seems to. If what has been reported is accurate, I've got serious concerns about anybody in that chain of command stepping over a line that they should never step over. We are not Russia. We're not Iraq.
If you received that order, would you have carried it out?
No.
All right, Bob. If you had received that order, would you have carried it out?
No. If the second strike would have been executed against people who survived a strike against their boat, that is basically killing people in the water that are defenseless. I understand that the admiral in charge has been summoned to speak to Congress. The president, and I agree with you, it is not the Secretary of War, although that's what he'd like to become. The buck stops where?
President Trump said yesterday in the Oval Office that every one of these boats responsible for thousands and thousands of deaths in the United States. And so I think the public would like to have some evidence of that. And what's the mission? What's the purpose of this mission to begin with?
Where's the proof in the fact that they were indeed creating a harm to the American people? And where is the authority that they were destroying those boats? Usually, the president, the Secretary of Defense, has to go to Congress for authorization to do things. Like everything else, though, in this administration, pardon my opinion, it doesn't seem to be anything involved with being legal or illegal. We're just going to do what we want to do. And in the case of Hegseth, I'll tell you, it's a puppet. And we know who the puppeteer is.